Hey everyone, welcome back to the Underswell. I'm Derek Sabori, and today we're going to do another deep dive on a website and have a look at the brands that you know of and that you are hearing about, the brands who are talking about sustainability. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into their website and really uncover the things that they are showcasing. And we're going to ask the question, is Mud Jeans a sustainable brand? They're a brand that's doing a lot of great work. They've got a whole bunch of stuff on their website, and they have something very particular that I really like that I want to call out. So let's dive in. We'll have a look at their website. We'll talk about all the things that they are discussing and showcasing, and let's see how they're communicating sustainability to you. All right, you guys ready to dive in? Let's have a look. So if you haven't heard of Mud Jeans is a brand out of the Netherlands. And of course, all of the brands, it seems like, out of Europe are doing great stuff. And it always seems like Europe is one step ahead, or at least pushing a little bit harder on sustainability and climate action than any other place in the world. And this is a good example. Here's a brand that's doing some really interesting things. So right off the bat, if we look at their website, this is just on their homepage, mudjeans.eu. Right away, they're talking about circularity, right? The perfect circular jeans. So that might beg the question, what makes their jeans circular? Well, let's have a look. When we jump in here, we can have a look at their products. You can get a sense of their pricing. It's not super expensive. I'm kind of right in that zone, I think, that we would expect from a brand doing things a little bit better, more sustainable. So I'm not going to subscribe right now. But if we click on any one of their jeans, let's see what's going on. So this is their regular stretch, medium worn jean, 150 euro. Here's what's interesting. You've got two options when you decide to buy this. And I guess before we dive into that, let's see. You can recycle a pair of old jeans to get a discount. Let's get some details on this product though. Designed for men who like their jeans not too tight, not too loose. Let's get some materials. Stretch denim, dead stock fabric, 98% cotton, 2% elastane. So they're not mentioning anything about organic or recycled, but they are talking about dead stock. Dead stock is something interesting. This is basically fabric that is sitting, being unused, and potentially wouldn't otherwise be wanted or put into manufacturing. To me, that's a little like, I don't know, unless they're just doing small batches, right? If there are just a few small rolls left and we're just doing a small run to get rid of that fabric, that's dead stock. But anything that's in kind of high quantities, I think it's a little bit, sort of iffy, but regardless, that's what dead stock is. Product that was overused or product that was overpurchased, excess inventory that apparently nobody is using, and they decided to use it. So there's something there, but I do like they've got these two buttons. So if you want this pair of jeans, you can buy it now. But also, I think what is more fascinating is this lease now. So you can lease this pair of jeans rather than buy it. You can lease it for $12.45 a month and decide, and then you have an option to return your old jeans. So if you return jeans, does that change anything? Nope, but you can turn your jeans in, then pay a subscription to these jeans. What does that mean? What is that all about? Well, what their program is part of this idea that we've talked about, this re-commerce, alternative business models. They're saying don't own your jeans, lease them, pay a monthly fee. This is paying for the service of these jeans, paying for the use of them. And what makes this more sustainable is that Mud Jeans is saying that, hey, the fabric that is out there, those materials, those resources, those are valuable resources to us. We want those back. And I don't know if they are reselling those jeans again or if they are going to recycle them. So let's have a look. You can experience a new way of fashion. After 12 months, the jeans are yours. We believe in ownerless consumption. Partner with us to rethink fashion. So I really like that. They're rethinking the system, taking it into a systems approach and reduce the impact on the environment. After those 12-month payments, those payments stop automatically and the jeans are yours until you decide to send them back for recycling. So recycling becomes easy. After those 12 months, you can keep them or swap them for a new pair. Just send them back. You can request a free return label. They're saying owning less is fun. We're entering a new world where success is no longer defined by how much stuff you own. So they're addressing overconsumption, which is great, and kind of getting the consumer to change their mindset. Your experiences in life, the connection with others, that's what matters, rather than sort of closet accumulation, as I've heard it been referred to. Quality becomes affordable. High quality is achieved through great materials and fair wages for all our jean makers. Through leasing, you pay a low monthly price for an ethical pair of jeans. So they're talking about social impacts and wages and factory conditions. So that's great. 40% of their customers have been leasers. One Tree, they're working with an organization. One Tree is restored by Just Dig It for every jeans that is returned for us to recycle. 8,900 jeans were sent to be recycled recycled in 2020. So that's good. Let's, kind of maybe a small drop in the bucket, but it's a movement that's happening. You get reviews from people that are participating, but here's how it works. Once you sign up, you get a discount for sending us your old jeans. You start leasing, you lease them for 12 months, and then you swap or keep your jeans, and then it's time to recycle. I want to see what's going on at the recycling stage, and let's see what they're saying. Send your jeans back to us. We'll recycle them or turn them into vintage. Send us an email. So interesting about the vintage. Here are their other services. They offer family discounts, repair service, which is great. That's a great opportunity if something's going on with your jeans. Do I have to pay? What leasing different than buying? What's a family discount? So I think we've been through all that. But we've noticed that leasers are often, one, change makers, people who care for the planet and enjoy owning less. Two, a younger generation used to subscriptions, preferring to pay a smaller monthly fee over a large amount directly. So pretty interesting there. Their mission, let's go to their sustainability page. So if we drop down, what's nice, they don't have sustainability sort of in their main header. But once you drop down to the mission, you can get sustainability or fair production, which sometimes you'll see kind of put into the sustainability section, but they've kind of split them out. So they're saying they're the world's first circular denim brand. By applying the principles of the circular economy, we're reducing our environmental footprint. So they've quantified what their impacts have been, what their reductions have been, how much has been avoided. They've avoided this much water. They've avoided this many emissions, greenhouse gas emissions or CO2. They've preserved this much land, and we've saved this many jeans from landfill or incineration. Here's their report. You've seen some other videos that I've done. Nudie jeans we looked at H&M as well, so you can check out those videos. It's a great idea to go and have a look at your company's, your favorite company's brands sustainability report. This is an opportunity for them. It looks like their most recent one is 2020. So 2022, they're a little behind, but these are a lot of work to put together. Sometimes these are hundreds of pages, but you get to see all of the work that they're up to, right? Their experience, their mission and strategy. They are a proud certified B Corp, which is great. We love B Corps. They're talking about what their impacts are on stakeholders, the awards they might have won, their commitment to the circular economy, their sustainability journey, their timeline, transparency and traceability, material transparency, material health and responsible chemistry, chemistry of things, what's in our packaging, zero waste, giving products a second chance of life. All of this is sort of a good running checklist and a nice hit list of things that they are tackling. They're aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, which I think is good and super important. Let's quickly have a look at that real quick and see what's going on with their commitment, how they are talking about the Sustainable Development Goals. If you're not familiar with the SDGs, go check out the video I did on the Sustainable Development Goals. These are really important, right? This is 17 goals, 169 different targets that are underneath them. But these are sort of a great framework for how to look at sustainability. And typically, brands won't say, hey, we're covering them all because it's so impossible. There's so much to cover. And that's what Mud Jeans has done here. They've called out 5 SDGs, as they're called, that they are contributing to and that they know their work is helping to drive. Number 8, decent work and economic growth. Number 12, responsible consumption and production, that leasing program. Number 13, climate action. They've made a public declaration of climate emergency and have made a public commitment to net zero. I've talked about net zero in other videos. It's this idea of driving your emissions down to zero, not letting your emissions be what they are and then offsetting them with trying to offset them with something else, driving your emissions down to zero. That means electrifying your supply chain, better materials, getting them, more utilization out of your products, but mostly it's about cleaning up your supply chains. They're measuring their impact, continuously working to reduce it, probably most likely tackling scope 1, 2, and 3. So make sure you know those scopes when you're talking about climate change. Tackling life below water, producing and using innovative water conservation techniques, which not only recycle but clean the water, and focusing on life on land. They're using production techniques and packaging that are designed to minimize our impact. Oops, typo right there. On ecosystems and biodiversity. So that's important and that's good. They're keeping track of their circularity goals, but this isn't even just 41 pages because there are 2 pages on each one talking about their purchasing practices, people, and planet. Ultimately, this is almost an 80-page report with some great references in there. You can find their looking backwards goals, previous goals in previous years to see how they're doing and how they've held up. They've got an inclusivity and diversity section, which is great. So they're doing a lot of good work. And they're partnering with others. We know we can't do sustainability in a vacuum. It's going to take a lot of work, collaborating with our community, Here is their positive activism. So I'm stoked. This is a good sustainability report. They're focused on ethical production, labor rights, fair wages, equality, working environments, all good stuff that's super important, all under the umbrella of what they're calling ethical production. So I think that's really good. They've got a highlight on some of the key environmental concerns, right? Water, CO2, land use, and recycling. So they've already turned almost 67,000 jeans into new denim. So they're taking those goods back, those post-consumer goods. That's a big part of circularity, is after the consumer uses them, we get them back, we break them down back into fibers, turn those fibers into yarn, yarns into fabric. But they've got their take-back scheme that consists of more than 96% in cotton. And then in collaboration with the denim experts at Recover and Tejidos Royo in Valencia. So this is good because they're naming sort of their supply chain and who their partners are. They take those new denim fabrics are made from those post-consumer goods, and those contain 40% post-consumer recycled cotton. I like that they're breaking this down for us and showing us sort of what the story is. I would hope that there's some better detail here as well, but this is actually a good start. So we know that the new products that we get, they were made with 40% post-consumer recycled cotton. So you can see there's a little bit of loss there. We're not just sort of at a trade one gene in, one gene makes one new gene. There's a little bit of efficiency loss there, but hey, this is a great start. And they've got a life cycle assessment. So I did a video on life cycle assessments as well, which you might want to check out, LCAs. But this is interesting because what they're doing is they did a life cycle analysis on their program. So we can get some good information here, sort of the impact that they're having, where their biggest impacts are, what they're trying to achieve. But here they're talking about circular design, production, leasing, upcycling, recycling, repair. Here is their supply chain map, this is an interesting place for it in their life cycle assessment. I'm interested in this, but they're saying all the fabrics that they're using, where they're getting their materials from. Here we're getting a little bit deeper into the product LCA, the life cycle assessment, which going across the entire value chain from raw material extraction all the way to consumer use and end of life. We're going to start to have a look at what our impacts were, and what they're doing is comparing them, it looks like, to some others. Levi's, Nudie Jeans, industry standard. They've got their climate change metrics, so they're saying, hey, we've got the lowest CO2 equivalency number. We've got the lowest water depletion number, and our energy, unreported by the others, is pretty good as well. So here are their results for water. And remember, an LCA measures and quantifies the things that they chose. So they chose to focus on water. They chose to focus on biodiversity, and they wanted to see where in their value chain the impacts are. They compare them they chose this particular item, the Skinny Lily blue jean, and then measured the biodiversity impacts and compared it to the industry standard to kind of show us how they're doing compared to the industry standard. They have some impact reduction goals. So this is good information. Deep dive, CO2, energy, analysis by fabrics. You can kind of see where the energy consumption is coming from. So really good stuff if you want to dive in. This is interesting here to get a sense of washing electricity, ironing, accumulated rest, washing chemicals, sewing. I'm actually not even sure what accumulated rest is. So we're going to have to dive in and maybe do a piece on that. That's interesting. Water consumption. LCAs are great for getting us, like we said, though, that true data behind your product. They've got a great video here on recycling jeans. They show us how it's done. Our new jeans contain up to 40%. We just saw that post-consumer recycled cotton. So you can watch the video here and get a sense. Let's see what 3-minute video. I want to see a little bit of it. So this must be the take back. So they're taking that jeans back. They come in these bundles. They're on a little tour here. The hard part about this is when you've got a program like this, it takes a lot of work to get these jeans back. They're not clean. They're not always properly sorted. So you've got to have good organization. You have to sort them, categorize them, decide what can be used again, what needs to be recycled, what just won't work, etc. It looks like just kind of some fun stuff here. Beach cleanup, surfing. So there's the jeans that they've got to deal with. I was part of a denim collection drive that we did at Volcom for many years. It was called Give Jeans a Chance, and it was cool. But seeing these truckloads of jeans come in, They come in all types of conditions, and it's a lot of work to sort through them. So I give these guys a lot of credit. So there's the fiber. So there's the bales of the jeans. They've got to go through and get sorted. Looks like they are just going to put them on this belt. They're going to start shredding them. So they go straight to shredding. So that shredding then eventually kind of probably goes down just multiple machines to eventually start turning it down, into this fiber. That fiber gets turned into some sort of slurry, it looks like. And then, boom, it's eventually spun into yarns. And so that's a little behind the scenes. These yarns are probably blended with either organic cotton or conventional cotton and then made into new fabrics. So that's cool. Then they've got to be dyed and finished, etc. So interesting. If you haven't watched denim be made or seen the whole system behind it, that's worth a full watch. Their goal is to design the first jeans made from 100% post-consumer recycled cotton. So they're at 40% now. They've got some work to do. Here are the goals, but hey, give these guys credit. This is a really good, innovative program for sure. They want to achieve that 100% circularity, 100% post-consumer recycled denim. They want to improve the durability. We know that sustainability, low-hanging fruit, good programs. Make a jean that lasts. Tell your customer that it lasts. Tell them that it was made to last, and make sure your customers use your product for the longest amount of time. Introduce elastane alternatives, or the spandex that we put in our jeans. We like our stuff to be stretchy now, so they're looking for an alternative, probably a bio-based one or a recycled one. I like that they've broken this down to product, people, environment, and activism. On the people side, includes size inclusivity. Increase our model diversity. This is a really good point. I'm glad they brought this to the forefront to make sure that that we're having some good representation of their global community on their website and social media. Introduce special design jeans for jeans wearers with disabilities. Super inclusive and super thoughtful. Those with different disabilities have different needs for their clothing. Either easy to get on, easy to get off, easy to move around, comfortable to sit in all day if you're in a wheelchair, for example, etc. There are a whole bunch of considerations that need to be made. So I'm glad that's in there, and I wonder how they're doing on that. On the environment, they want all of their supply chain partners to transition to renewable energy. This is super important. Upstream, scope 3 emissions they're looking to tackle. Make use of all second choice garments. So anything that wasn't perfect, anything that maybe had blemishes, find a home for those, or even sell those. There's going to be an audience that is interested in buying those, I'm sure, at a lower price. Quantify and reduce all types of waste generation across the entire supply chain. And when it comes to activism, expand our monthly webinar to a wider audience, grow Voices for Good, a platform on an international scale, use our Earth Day off to grow collective volunteering. I wonder what this Voices for Good is. Let's have a quick look at this. I want to see. We're going to use our platform, they say, to amplify and shed a light on people and projects committed to doing good for the planet. Well, that's cool. So, hey, let's see if we can we'll reach out to Mud Jeans and see if our community here, the Underswell movement, can maybe get a feature. Here's World Changer. These guys are cool. World Changer, if this is the same one, this is a website where you can go to, do some sustainable shopping. So it's a kind of a one-stop shop for sustainable fashion brands, or brands that are doing things better. So they're saying it's hard to keep 500 plus sustainable and ethical brands straight. That's what we're here for. Click below to shop the directories. So here's a great place if you want to go start to look for and have a look or find new sustainable brands, or brands that are at least attempting to be more sustainable, right? So we saw their mission. So let's have a look at fair production now. So we're kind of leaving that sustainability. We looked at the sustainability report. We saw the video. Happy jeans makers equals better jeans. I can agree with that. Doing less harm is no longer enough. We need to go one step further. Our production is good for every person that encounters our products. So this is super solid. Here's their cotton farmers. The Recover, that's the group that's shredding and mixing and spinning. Tejidos Royo, who's doing the dyeing and weaving. This is where they're stitching and washing. There's Active Ants, their logistics company, and then their headquarters. So a pretty simplified supply chain. It's not interactive, which is okay, we'll see. But I love anytime a brand is talking to us about cradle to grave, showing everything in between. I think that is super good. Let's have a look to see what we find here at Tier 1, their factory. So great videos to kind of show us what's going on behind the scenes at the factory. They tell us about that factory, shredding and mixing. Here's some of their workers participating in the Who Made My Clothes or I Made Your Clothes movement from Fashion Revolution. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you do. A whole bunch here, the people behind the story, the owner. You can get a production tour here. So this is cool. This is in Turkey. And nice to kind of see what the conditions are like. You just having a couple good videos, you know, safety gloves on, smiling people, looks good, good lighting, nice conditions, clean factories, etc. And then of course they'll offer some products for sale. I like this. Activans, even going here to the logistics, that's kind of cool when you can come and see what's going on at the logistics company, how their products are shipped, packaged, robotics, probably lots of efficiency. It's the friendly robots that do most of the job for us. Most innovative fulfillment company in the world. That's actually really interesting and exciting. So you can learn a lot here. They're, you know, talking about the cotton farmers. Let's see what's going on to farmers. So having traceability this far back into your supply chain is really, really difficult. They're talking about the GOTS Global Organic Textile Standard, which we look for in our organic materials. So that whole video, I think, is the GOTS video. So they're using that one there. Talking about their cotton farmers, showing the process, super important. We can be sure that no insecticides or pesticides, no synthetic ones, I think is the language they should have used, and that workers' rights and the farmers were protected. So they go through the process here. So a lot of informative, educational pieces. So some really good transparency and visibility here. Here's their story. You can learn more about them. They're really focused on this idea of circular design, a circular economy, creating a world without waste. Every single one of their fabrics is either made of organic cotton or recycled cotton, so that's awesome. Kind of focused on this new way of doing business. It all started in 2012. Their founder, looks like Bert Van Son, founded Mud Jeans with over 30 years experience in the fashion industry. So he was really looking to do something different. I love it when you've got these graphics and you can kind of see how different what they're doing is from everybody else. Having fun, putting that as a priority. We want future generations to enjoy this planet. This is the idea of sustainability, right? We use that as the definition. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That's the definition that was used in the Our Common Future report, the Brundtland report that the United Nations put together. So here's more on their circular economy, fair production, positive activism. Let's all go circular. So this is great. Here's the MUD method, recycle, fair production, toxic free. So they've got a section here on chemicals. We eliminated permanganate spray, it's called. They use cradle to cradle certified indigo dye for our factories. All their paper are Ecotech certified. So they're paying a lot of good attention, I think, to a lot of different things. Good quality, no waste, natural materials, and a sexy butt. While we put sustainability at the center of our decision making, we also know the importance of perfect fit for a sexy butt. That's funny, but it's true. Sustainability, if you're making products that are sustainable or more sustainable, they also have to be desirable. They've got to, consumers are shopping for price, quality, what makes them feel good, look good, align with their vision. And then if it's sustainable, then they're going to be stoked. They're going to be even happier with their purchasing decision. So all in all, they've even got a course. They've got a sustainable fashion course. Become a sustainable change maker. You can take their course. Of course, I would love for you to come take my course with me, but if you don't and you want to take the Mud Jeans course, I'm cool with that too. Class 1, Class 2, let's see, are their classes free? If they are. So these are 30-minute classes. This would be great, guys. Have a look. Jump in and learn more about what they're doing, the cost of fashion. This looks actually really valuable. That could be really good. Here's their certified B Corp information. Wow, they've got 6 different classes on here. So that is impressive, and I would check that out. Here are their partners that they're teaming up with. So super impressive. Overall, if we look at Mud Jeans and we have a look at what they're offering, what do we think? Is Mud Jeans a sustainable brand? Well, at this point, with their Lease jeans, with their transparency in their supply chain, with their emphasis on every stage of the value chain from raw material production all the way to consumer use and getting people to be aware of all of the things they're doing, I'm going to say yes. Mud Jeans definitely leans into the more sustainable category. I'm not one to call a brand sustainable. I think, it's always they've acknowledged, right? There is still more that they want to do in getting there, but they are definitely helping to push us in the right direction. So Mud Jeans is absolutely a part of the movement. They're part of the sustainability movement. So green light to Mud Jeans. Check them out. Support them if you're in the EU. If you're here in the US or any other country, I'm not sure what it's like to get jeans from them, but I'll leave that to you. Here's a little badge that they got in the Netherlands as well. Sustainable Retailer of the Year. And I'm not sure who that is, so we'll have to check that out. But that's kind of cool there down in the bottom right corner as well. So they're getting recognition for the great work that they're doing. But overall, hats off to Mud Jeans. Good job, Mud Jeans. Keep doing the work you're doing. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you learned something about Mud Jeans and a different way to do business, to focus on the circular economy, fair production, better materials, and just dealing with your consumer better, changing the system. If you like videos like this, be sure to subscribe. That helps us out. Be stoked. And make sure you also go down and check out the links as well that we put it down there for further learning and joining either our newsletter or getting the free download that we have for you for 35 things that you need to know to be on your way to becoming a sustainability expert in the apparel industry. But other than that, see you at the next video. Thanks for watching. And if you like what we're doing here as well, tell a friend. We've got a whole bunch of other content there. Come take a course. Come join our academy. Join us over on the LinkedIn group. It's all available for you. We'd love to have you part of the conversation, part of the movement. I'll see you next time.